Heyo everyone, this is Dragon bringing you some Helldivers 2 tips and tricks for anyone that's just beginning or needs a refresh. Dropping in as the first tip is use your Hellpod and even your resupply. Your Hellpod does some decent damage when you're dropping in, just look for a heavy enemy and drop on them. Try to aim for their weak spot for extra damage. You can even use a resupply to stick to a heavy and it'll drop on them no matter where they go. Just make sure that you throw the beacon on the side of them, because 9 times out of 10 it'll bounce off of the front of them and it works for bugs and automatons. Next is make sure to visit the points of interest. You can find anything from ammo to stems to samples and even medals and super credits, not to mention you can find side objectives at these points as well. They can look like a makeshift graveyard, a group of buildings, and if you look around them you can find a red and blue door, and if you throw a grenade at them you'll find goodies, but that's mainly around the group of buildings. Sometimes you'll find a 2-button bunker. You'll need someone else's help to open it up. And if you do, you'll find some ammo, stems, samples, and sometimes super credits. Also, if you look out in the distance, you'll see a flashing light. And if you go there, you'll find a drop pod. And if you go up to it and show how loyal you are to the cause, it'll give you a reward. And something random like a stratagem gun, rare samples, medals, and super credits. At the points of interest, you'll sometimes find a satellite tower and an SEAF artillery cannon. For the satellite, you'll have to find and activate the terminal, and it will show you where to point the satellite, and then go to the satellite and interact with the wheel, and turn the satellite. And you'll hear a noise cue letting you know that you got it pointing at the right spot. And go back to the terminal to finish it up, and it will show you all the points of interest and side objectives on the map. For the SEAF artillery, just activate the terminal and find the bombs and carry them to the cannon and load them, and when you're carrying them, it'll slow you down. Just keep picking them up and dropping them to make you go faster and get the bombs to the cannon a little bit quicker. If you notice, if you go and pick up the bomb and you try to carry it to the cannon, you go slow as a snail. That's not ideal at all. You want to go ahead and drop it and pick it up and constantly do that while you're trying to get to the cannon. It will make you go 10 times faster. If you guys are enjoying and would like to see more tips and tricks on Helldivers, just go ahead and hit that like button, and if you want to see more content just like this, hit that subscribe. One of the most important tips is to use your stems. They regenerate your health even while you're being hit. Just make sure that you pop off that stem before you start getting hit by a lot of them, because if you don't, that stem would be negated and those bugs or automatons or whatever will just murder your face, and it's just not a fun time. And also, when you do use stems, they regenerate your stamina over time, so it helps you get out of sticky situations quicker whenever you actually need that extra boost. And then you also have that health on top of it, so it makes it a double whammy, and then you can get out of there no problem. Always use your stratagems. Most stratagems come back over time, so why not use them? Just use them strategically so you don't use all of them at once, unless you have to, or if you want to make yourself feel badass. Remember to look or call out before you throw a stratagem to make sure no teammates are nearby, so they don't become one with the air. Plus, it doesn't look good on your citizenship. One thing to keep in mind in bombing runs and eagle strafing runs, they go horizontal of where you're looking when you throw it. That'll help you to line up better runs and not to get you and your teammates caught in one. Plus, keep in mind where you first dropped in, because that's where your ship will be, and if you go use an orbital strike, it comes from your ship. So the further away from your ship you are, the more of an angle it'll come in at, so keep that in mind of trees and cliffs as well. Don't forget them samples. Grab samples when you see them. You can use them for ship module upgrades like orbital stratagems increase damage radius and cooldown time reductions. Orbital barrages fire an additional time. Eagle stratagems cooldown reduction by 10%, as well as being able to use 1 additional time per rearm. Eagles drop 1 additional bomb. Eagle rearm times reduced it by 10%. Support weapons being deployed with more ammo as well as cooldowns being reduced by 10%. Backpack stratagems cooldown times reduced as well as ammo backpack providing maximum mags for anyone with a support weapon. Bridge upgrades like minimap vision range increased by 50 meters. Eagle rearm times reduced by 10%. Better steering while dropping in a Hellpod. And fire base stratagems do 25% more increased fire damage. If you die with the simples on you, don't worry, just look on the map and you'll see a test tube. Go there and you'll find the simples laying on the ground where you last perished, and if you get close you'll hear a little audio cue as well. Last but definitely not least, and the most important tip by far, is watch your reloading. What I mean by that is don't just shoot a couple rounds and then reload, cause that just wastes a mag. This isn't COD or Apex or just your regular shooter where you can reload as you please, not having to worry about wasting any ammo. So be smart about your reloads, Helldivers. It's better the bullets to be in the enemies than on the ground. And that concludes this tips and tricks video. I hope this helps y'all become better Helldivers. Now go and show those bugs and those bots what you've learned and what you're made of. Until next time, guys, deuces.